My first engagement with radio happened 76 years ago. I partly will probably say that. In Big Brother Bill's children's program on Radio 4XD. Big brothers, aunties, uncles featured prominently in kids' programming in those days. No big sisters that I can recall. Leaving school, I joined the NZBS, 1ZB programming, male vocal, female vocal, instrumental, repeat. Sequence, not record. No track was to be played more than once a week. Dudley kept the Elvis Presley records in his office and released 2 a week, so that the models of our use would not be disturbed. We did find a way around that, and that's another story. They say that everyone who claims that they were on the wharf the night the Turi sailed were actually there, the wharf would have collapsed. But there were a large group of young and frustrated broadcasters from the NZBC there to wish the good guys luck. The advent of private radio, outrightly becoming legal, Radio I, Derek Lowe's, Pacific, Radio Pacific, changed the face of radio yet again. Eccles Smith showed how talk radio could not only be popular, but also intelligent and relevant. He's probably now turning his great A reinvigorated national radio under the guidance of Bev Wakeham developed the continuing education unit and gave airtime to the WEA and launched that access radio station whose birthday we celebrate today. In 1984, the broadcasting school was created. Bev Wakeham and Derek Lowe were the first patrons, followed by the biggest changes to broadcasting in my lifetime, deregulation. It produced a plethora of new radio stations, over 400 at its peak. Every community had one. There was one radio station for every 1,200 New Zealanders. Exciting and innovative times. 1XX in Potakane became the first commercial radio station in New Zealand to use Te Rau on a regular basis. But then the all-knowing hand of the market played its inevitable role. Stations called up stations. Networks created, first regional, then national, until all Kiwis can now enjoy Radio Auckland in one form or another. But out of deregulation came New Zealand On Air and Manga Power, 21 local EV stations and 12 local access stations, adding to our complex radio ecology and providing new opportunities for exciting and innovative radio. And all of this in my lifetime. No wonder that Aotearoa New Zealand has had more legislative changes to broadcasting in its history than the rest of the OECD combined. Minister, if you're still here, I'd like to pay tribute to New Zealand on Air for picking up on that directive of the former broadcasting minister, the Honourable Jonathan Hunt, to maintain that first access station. And not only that, but seeing its value and actively promoting and expanding the model to enable the access media whānau we have today. I suspect that there is a guy called Bernard Smythe somewhere here who might have something to do with it. I also want to acknowledge the support of New Zealand On Air for the publication of this book that we launched this evening, and a similar support from the home of the New Zealand Broadcasting School, the Alba Institute of Canterbury. Without this, the book would not have eventuated. I also acknowledge my colleague and friend Bronwyn. I could not have achieved this on my own. You've been a rock and a true partner in this adventure. And Karen Neal took on the onerous task of editing. Her blue pencil went through hundreds of words that I thought was my deathless prose. But she necessarily shaped the text to fit the publishing requirements, and she did it within an immensely short time frame. Without her, there would again be no book. Thank you. This book is a snapshot, an introduction, an overview. Much could be and should be written. Issues, historical, cultural, expounded and critiqued. Each station deserves its own book. I would finish by commenting on the 6 stations that permitted me the privilege of writing about them. Wellington, whose birthday we celebrate today, can say to every other station, been there, done that. Over its 40 years, it has experienced the highs and lows that are common to every voluntary organisation, but throughout has maintained amazingly high levels of on-air quality and Section 36C quantity, while also sharing a frequency. Congratulations. As an aside, what a nice birthday present if a dedicated frequency would present itself. Arrow FM, I want to call you the station that shouldn't. You slipped in before the 50,000 population barrier, courtesy of your early start with Radio New Zealand. With the longest serving manager and a small staff, you epitomise what a station can mean to a small community. Your innovative use of television and high production skills, especially in the use of drama, make you special. Planet FM, our only Tier 1 station. With just 3 managers in over 30 years and consistently steady governance, you have demonstrated a stability and a presence in our super city that is truly of world-class standard, with a full schedule of programming that reflects the amazing cultural diversity of your catchment. I think of you as large and perfectly formed. The 2 neighbours, Radio Kidnappers and Man or Two People's Radio, siblings born within a year of each other, each a reflection of your own region, similar but different. Both have strong 36C programming in disabilities and faith, and an ethnic minority schedule that mirrors and reflects the region. But your individual strengths are the way you so proudly promote and reflect your different communities. You do this very well. And the last kid off the block, Access Radio Taranaki. So much the creation of the dynamic leadership provided by the Kiwis. Daniel, who sadly left us, and Alessandra far too early. And Alexandra, who picked up the mantle so vibrantly and so well. A station where my scepticism is overcome. And I have to agree, magic truly does happen. Thank you for inviting me into your wonderful and diverse worlds. I've enjoyed telling your stories and all the errors, both commissions and omissions, are ours. None.